So there's moments in your life when you meet somebody and immediately you don't feel good. You don't like them. There's something about them that just feels off. And other times you'll meet somebody and you just can't explain why you actually just really like them a lot. That instant connection, that kind of spark that for some reason you just want to get to know them better. And there are other people you meet and really there's just nothing there. You have no interest in them and you have no interest in getting to know them better either. And the question is, why is that? Are you psychic? Is it your intuition? And the answer to that is maybe, maybe not. But the one thing I can talk about is energy. Everything gives off energy. It's a scientific fact. And as humans, we can feel energy. There's no question about it. Animals can feel it, so why can't we as well? There's a lot of truth to those old sayings like you can cut the tension with a knife. And the one thing with energy and interactions with people is that you just really never know why you feel the way you do. But what if I told you there was a system that could actually help you understand why you feel the way you do around certain people, why you feel uncomfortable in certain areas, why you need to have your house a certain way because it drives you crazy otherwise, why your mother or father always seem to get on your last nerve? Well, there actually is, and it's called human design, or what I like to call the HD astrology system. Now, you may not believe in magic, and that's completely fine. But one thing that I will say is that the human design chart is kind of magical in how it connects all the different dots together to make one system. And not only that, it gives details about people that have no explanation as to why they're so accurate. I think if there's anything about human design that still mystifies me is how it actually works, because it shouldn't. It shouldn't be so accurate, but for some reason it is. So now the question is, what exactly is human design? I think there's very few people who haven't heard about astrology. Most everybody knows their sun sign, and probably they read their horoscope too. But the cool thing about the human design system is that not only does it have astrology involved, it has I Ching, elements of the Kabbalah system, also elements of the chakra system, and just for good measure, there's also some quantum physics as well. So it really is a lot of systems in one. Now, you don't have to learn all those systems. If you learn the human design system, or even get the basics of it, you'll get a lot of information just from that. You can actually see a few of the different parts of the chart, especially in this Mandela type of human design body graph, which is not usually the one that most people look at. Yes, it's pretty and it looks like it's really fancy, but I think it's overwhelming because there's way, way too much detail. Detail you don't really need to start out with. So you probably got the message that I like human design and I think is really valuable. But I think it's just as important to tell you that although it's a wonderful tool and it works really well, it has its limitations just like anything else in our lives. Sadly, it won't make your dreams come true. You have to do that. Although there are some transits you can follow in human design, they only touch on the themes of what you might be experiencing. And really, if you want predictive systems, then this probably isn't the one for you. And there are people who talk about human design who tell you can and can't do a lot of things. I'm not going to tell you that. We are here to live our lives and do what we need to do. Human design is a guide to help you, but you're the one that makes the choices. You decide your own fate, not a system. And keep that in mind because you are your own boss, not a system, not astrology charts, not human design charts, not any kind of chart can tell you what you're supposed to do. It can show you some good stuff about you, and it can also show you some ideas of how it can get the best out of your life, but it certainly can't live your life for you unless you let it. And I really hope you don't. So keeping that in mind, what can human design actually tell you? Well, it can tell you a lot. It can tell you stuff like if you need to have a lot of friends in order to make your way through the world. It can talk about why you like to be alone and how that's okay. It can tell you that all the moods that you have and the ups and downs are completely normal for you. And there's absolutely nothing crazy or weird about you. It can show you that the way you are isn't odd, isn't abnormal. It's just you. And I think that when we accept who we are, life just gets easier. Now that you know what human design is and isn't, if you're still interested and you want to find out more, then the next thing you need to do is to get your own body graph. These pictures are what a body graph looks like usually, minus all the rays and all the colors. It's a little bit more user-friendly, although it may be overwhelming even so, the way it is. And while there's a lot of detail, you don't have to learn it all. In fact, even just a basic understanding of the human design body graph is helpful in itself. So what do you need to get a human design chart or a body graph? Well, you need their birthday, you need the place they were born, and ideally, you want to have the time they were born. Sometimes the charts will work without the time, but it'll always be more accurate with the time. It's free, and it also allows you to keep charts so that you can have a file of your charts so you can easily have access to them. So once you have that information, you plug it in. There are tons of free online resources to get body graphs. The one I like the most is Human Design America. It is computer based though, so if you don't have a computer, it won't work for you. The only downside to Human Design America is that you can't enter a birth time, I think, below 1918. So if you have a birth time that's before 1918, then you need to go to another free online resource called Jovian Archives. I'll have all the links for you so you can see. Now, if neither of these work out because you don't actually go on the computer much and you're more on your phone, then the Human Design app is a place to go. Now, this one actually costs a few dollars, but it's not much. It's about $10 or less. And you can get it for all iOS as well as Android devices. The nice thing about the Human Design app is it goes wherever your phone goes. And it also allows you to have as many files as you like, so you can have all the details of all the people you know and all the people you want to look at their charts. Because believe me, as soon as you start looking at people's charts, you're going to want to know everybody's information. So go on out and get a chart. What do you got to lose? And when you have your chart, we'll start trying to pull it apart so you can understand exactly what it is, what it tells you, and how it can help you in your life.